Alright guys, in this video I'm going to take you through the full end-to-end process that we implement into our clients' Klaviyo accounts when we're running their email marketing for them. This is everything from the foundations of email marketing with deliverability all the way through to what flows you should set up, the campaign strategy, email pop-ups, and more, okay? Because there is a lot to consume and digest in this video, I've included the link to the template that I'm going to go through in this video down below, okay? So you'll be able to go through that in your own time and start implementing everything we're going to go through, all right? So with that said, let's jump over to my computer and we're going to start going through the end-to-end process. Okay, so this is the template that is linked below this video and that we're going to go through in this video. As you can see, there's quite a few areas to go through, so let's dive in. First off, email marketing foundations. I'm not going to, preach the importance of email marketing because if you're watching this video, you already know that email marketing is important, right? But real quick, we know that we want to recover customers in the buying journey, right? We know that we want to increase LTV and profit per customer. We want to nurture and strengthen customer brand connection and relationship. And of course, we also want to gain insightful feedback from non-customers and existing customers. Our strategy, our end-to-end strategy that I'm about to go through with you guys right now covers all these areas, right? And quick social proof, my team and I have built email marketing programs from the ground up that generate over 2 million per month today. And some of that, is per brand, right? And what I'll be sharing in this module is everything we do to set up, manage, and maintain a successful email marketing program. We use Klaviyo as a platform for email marketing. Another option is SendLane. Personal preference is Klaviyo. And before diving into the details of what a successful email marketing program looks like, we need to address one of the most overlooked yet most important parts of email marketing, which is deliverability. And that is your ability as an email sender to deliver your emails to the recipient's inbox. Now, deliverability can come across as quite boring, people kind of glance over it. But, if you think about it, if your deliverability is not good and your emails are not going to the inbox, but instead of going to the spam promotions tab, it doesn't really matter how good your email strategy or campaigns are, right? Because most of them are not going to be read, okay? So you've likely seen some of this before as well, but this is what we do. So first of all, it starts with the DNS records. You just want to make sure the following is set up correctly: DMARC, SPF, DKIM. You can go to this website here, just easydmarc.com/tools/domain-scanner, and you can scan your own domain's records to see if they're set up correctly. And that's a free tool that you can use. Then we have warm-up, right? So if your email address is new, it's critical to use a warm-up software such as Lemwarm. You can pretty much use any warm-up software, but you just want to warm up your domain, right? And the warm-up tools work by gradually increasing your sending volume and pulling your emails out of spam and promotions folder into the inbox, okay? So that's a tool you want to use just to warm up that domain and make it a more reputable sending domain, okay? Even if you have a mature email address you're using to send emails from, I'd still recommend having a warm-up tool running in the background because it's more like an insurance, and have additional email addresses warming up just in case your main one's deliverability starts to suffer. So you want to have some backup email accounts, some email addresses that you can send from if your main one does take a hit. So when it comes to audience segmentation and deliverability, we're going to talk more about this in a moment, but the main reason for audience segmentation is making sure you're sending emails to engaged audiences who are likely to open and click your emails, right? And we're going to go through the specific segments that we use. You can do also active removal of bots from your list, which has actually been really common this year. We use a tool called Arita.ai for this. You can check those guys out if you want, but that's just a tool that we use that helps us keep our list as clean and as engaged as possible. Finally, there's this thing that we do called strategic deliverability enhancers. Sounds pretty cool, but what we do is there's two ways that we can increase engagement and signals to the recipients' inboxes, right? Because the way that deliverability works, a lot of it is dependent on signals and your reputation. So if we can increase the strength and the amount of signals that we're sending to those recipient inboxes, there's a high chance we can improve our deliverability. So reply to campaigns, a reply on your email is a strong signal to the inbox, right? That someone's using, whether it's Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, whatever it is. If someone replies to an email, it signals to that inbox that, hey, this sender must be reputable and must be trusted because this person is replying to the email, okay? So just like you would a friend emailing you or a customer or client emailing you, it's the same thing, right? That response generates a lot of trust with the inbox. So what we do is we have these reply to campaigns that, especially for things like product launches, sales, we send a quick email. Usually it's a plain text that says, hey, if you're interested in wanting to know wanting to be the first to know about this new product launch, wanting to be the first to know about the sale, then respond to this email with the word yes, and we'll make sure that you're on the list, okay? And what that does is it encourages the replies. Second, we have engagement campaigns, and this is just encouraging click-throughs by creating a strong curiosity gap. Good example of this, what we do is we preview an Instagram video in the email, and what we're doing is we're getting recipients to click through to watch the video that's being highlighted in the email, right? Again, clicks send a strong signal to the inbox providers saying that the links in this email must be trusted because people are clicking on them. So that's just something you can do. If you have an Instagram page, YouTube, whatever it is, it's a good way to increase click-throughs and CTR by having those engagement campaigns, okay? So moving on to our campaigns, our approach is really 80% content driven and value, and then 20% sales, promos, and offers. Most of the time what we're doing is we're splitting campaigns for existing customers versus non-customers, depending on the product, right? Sometimes there is some overlap, especially if there's a repeat purchase aspect of the product. If we combine both of these segments, then we're excluding purchase from a recent window, such as 21 days, to ensure they have the product, right? You don't want to be emailing customers about a product that they already have and that they haven't even had the chance to use or experience yet, okay? Our cadence is 3 to 5 campaigns per week. We do three campaigns to one audience segment per week max, okay? So if we're splitting out different segments, that's when we're going higher than the 3 per week. Now, caveat to this is right now, the time of recording this, we're in November. Black Friday sales, we are sending more than 3 per week just because our metrics allow for it. So 3 campaigns per week is not, the be all end all. What you do want to do is you want to look at your engagement metrics. You want to look at your open rates, your click rates, of course, your revenue. But you also want to look at your deliverability score inside Klaviyo. You want to look at your spam complaint rates. And based on those metrics, you can either send more or less. You really want to tailor it to those metrics you're seeing, right? And as long as you are, sending to engaged audiences that we're going to go through in a moment, and the content that you're sending is not too spammy, and you're actually providing value, then you should not have a problem with sending 3 campaigns, even 4 campaigns per week to audience segments, okay? So some examples of content-driven and value campaigns that we send: brand, product features and benefits, just education on the products that we're selling, especially if there's some sort of health benefit or some science behind, the product itself and maybe the formulation. We are definitely, that's a perfect opportunity to increase that engagement through product education, right? Just giving them background on how it's made and the materials. You can get really creative with that depending on the product you're selling. Ways to overcome the problems the recipient is facing. So information in the email itself, right? We can have, again, educational content, or we can link to external resources such as our own blog if we have one. UGC features are great, especially if you are getting this kind of content on ads. Testimonials from customers, from content creators, I'd highly recommend featuring those. This is also an opportunity for you to link to those videos that I was mentioning to increase engagement. Customer testimonials, more like written ones in the email itself. Press features, founder/founding stories. These are just some examples, right? In terms of where to get inspiration for the campaigns that you send, of course, competitors, other brands, sign up to their email lists and save emails you like to a swipe file to use in the future. That's a great way that we get inspiration for the emails that we're going to send out for the clients that we work with. And of course, mail charts and really good emails. Both of those websites are great sources of inspiration, okay? When it comes to building campaigns, when we have an idea for a campaign, we always start with the copy. And the reason why we always start with the copy is because we are then going to translate the copy into a design and format that looks good. So what you should do is test both short form and long form copy. Long form copy actually works best in plain text emails, and short form copy works best in design emails, right? And for the designed emails, the copy structure needs to fit into the design. That's the most important. And this is why we do the copy first. For the designed emails, we design the emails in Figma, and then we import the emails into Klaviyo as individual image blocks. Each email is saved as a template in Klaviyo for future reference and organization. So this allows you to have emails that look on brand, that look good even in dark mode on mobile. And the way we do that is we're building them in Figma. It doesn't have to be Figma, you can use Photoshop, but Figma is just a really easy way to build email designs. And then what you do is you import those blocks into Klaviyo as images. Just an important thing, what we do is we export the images from Figma as 2x quality, and that just makes sure that the text is crystal clear, right, for those images that we're exporting, okay? Some design notes, common structure, and I'm going to go through this with you guys right now. So at the top, we tend to have some sort of announcement bar, which is, it can be optional. We can rotate this in depending on our the promos that we're running or some sort of brand value proposition like free shipping. Then you want to have some sort of like pre-header or navigation bar consisting of a logo or optionally some product collections links. Examples of this top bar here, this is a bit blurry because it's a big screenshot, but you can see logo and shop all at the top. A lot of times it is just a logo. Then we have the hero image with the headline, subheadline, CTA, and the image either behind it or underneath it. It's important that the CTA is above the fold, right? And you can see here from these examples that this image, is kind of the text overlay on top of the image, where we have headline, subheadline, and the CTA. Right? We have headline, subheadline, CTA. Pre-headline, headline, subheadline, CTA. Pre-headline, headline, little discount code, and the CTA. Okay, so you can see the same structure that is being followed. And we have a body section with another CTA, and you can incorporate this with more images. For example, this one we have some text and then some images, some more call out features, benefits, and then a shop now button. Here we have like a top 5, right? So we're incorporating maybe like a top 5 products, right? Here, not really much body. There's just more images, and then just another like CTA here, and then this one is like a shop by section, and then also like shop the top favorites. So these designed emails, they're not very text heavy, because the images themselves do a lot of the talking, right? That's really the goal here. And as I mentioned, you can have some additional sections with more images and more CTAs, okay? Now, when it comes to audience segmentation, audiences that you should build and use in your campaigns, first off, we have our engaged audiences. So you want to test with 90-day, 120, 150, 180 days. We find that either 90 or 120 days works best. The reason why you want to test is because you want to find the sweet spot between the size of the audience and the engagement, okay? If you go too far, like maybe 180, even 210 days, then you might see that the engagement, the open rate, the click rate starts to drop off, right? Maybe with 90 days, it's super high, but you could be getting more volume and slightly less engagement, but still really good engagement at maybe the 150-day mark, right? As I mentioned, we find that the 90 or 120 days does work best. The definition for an engaged audience is has opened email or clicked email at least once in the last X number of days, right? And that depends on 90, 120, whatever you're testing, okay? Another audience segment you want to build is existing customers. So placed order at least once over all time. And you want to build additional segments based on granularity, right? It has placed order at least once in the last 21 days. If you want to send to existing customers, but exclude those that have just recently purchased. Then you have your non-customer list, placed orders 0 times over all time, and optional is active in insert flow names. So this could just be like, let's just say customers are going through the abandoned flows and you don't want to send them campaigns. You might want to have a audience segment that you want to build, which is if someone is active in one of those flows, we want to exclude them, okay? We always exclude email has bounced more than 5 times, and of course unsubscribes, just to add a safety layer there. And we always only send to engaged audiences to maintain good deliverability, as I mentioned earlier. In some cases, for big sale events or product launches, we will increase the size of the segment we're sending to reach more people, okay? So just something to note there. Now, when it comes to email marketing flows, as you guys know already, the flows are the automated email drip sequences that get sent out to recipients based on certain actions that they've taken. There are 7 main flows we set up for our clients. The welcome flow, browse abandon, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, post-purchase win-back flow, sunset flow, okay? There are some additional flows that you can set up, such as view product abandonment, the VIP customer flow, product review request, and loyalty program refer friend flow. Now, I have outlined each of the flows here. I'm not going to go in depth into each of them, but once you open this link, maybe you've opened it already and you're going through it at the same time as I am in this video, then you can go through each of these and read more about each of these flows, okay? The most important ones are the first 7 that I mentioned here. You definitely want to have these. And the one thing I see most brands trip up on is this abandoned cart and abandoned checkout. Most, like the default is to have the flow in Klaviyo is called abandoned checkout. It's called abandoned cart, but it's actually abandoned checkout. And the way you add abandoned cart is you have to add an added to cart metric onto your website with some code that Klaviyo provides you. So you can just search online for Klaviyo added to cart metric code, and you'll be able to get that and install it on your website. Then you'll be able to start sending abandoned cart and abandoned checkout emails. So that's just another way to eke out some more revenue from those flows, okay? When it comes to A/B testing, we like to optimize for these main 4 metrics: open rate, click rate, placed order rate, and revenue. In terms of optimizing these metrics, open rate, assuming you have good deliverability, of course, the areas that you can test are send time, subject line preview text, and sender name. To optimize your click rate, you want to test the placement of the CTA button and also the email content and structure. And then for placed order rate revenue, really comes down to the offer and landing page. A lot of it is like what happens post-click. Your conversion rate plays a lot of role in this as well. So how to A/B test? Of course, you want to set up the A/B test inside your email service provider. Klaviyo is great at providing the structure for setting up these A/B tests. You want to run the test until you have significant data. Significant data is different for everyone, and while your ESP should be able to provide you with a winner, we like to aim for the following benchmarks when analyzing test results. So when we're testing open rate, we want to have each variant at 500 recipients before making a decision on the winner. The winning metric or the winning variant must clearly be better. And what this means, and what you'll see throughout, is that if the losing variant was to receive a few more events of the winning metric, like opens, clicks, purchases, it would become the winning variant. We don't want that to happen, right? We want that to be quite a clear difference. That was to say, even if this losing variant got a bunch more events and those events perform better, it would not surpass the winner, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind. Great, each variant needs at least 75 clicks before making a decision on the winner, and placed order at least 50 purchases and at least 20 more purchases than the other variant. When it comes to email collection pop-ups, and this is super, super important and something that I see is overlooked as well, but you need to grow your email list, right? And your email list will grow naturally, especially if you're driving traffic to your website. But what we look at is how do we optimize and increase the conversion rate of that traffic through optimized pop-ups. As I mentioned, higher conversion rates on your email collection forms lead to faster list growth, ultimately more revenue with the bleed through. And if your email collection form has questions that allow you to find out more about your customers, then a higher conversion rate leads to more more data collected as well. So you can use your email pop-ups as a way to gather more information on your customers, maybe ask them what they're shopping for, maybe ask them who they're shopping for, and that is a great way to find out that extra information, okay? So components of a pop-up, of course, you have email and SMS collection and a survey, as I mentioned. The most standard one is that you collect email and SMS in 2 steps. So what has worked for us is that we have email collection first, SMS collection second, with a stronger upgrade offer. For example, if you give 10% off for email, then you say, hey, after someone adds their email into the form on the first screen, second screen says, hey, get 15% off by adding your SMS, okay? So that's upgrade offer that adds the incentive to add the SMS as well. What we've done recently is we added a pre-screen, right? So we asked them a question which says, do you want 20% off your first order? The yes button needs to select screen with email input. We're getting a micro commitment, and the text underneath the yes button says, no, I'd rather pay full price, right? So it's kind of a no-brainer to click yes and just see what's on the other side, right? Another thing you could do is a mystery offer, which is a click to reveal. And really just show you guys some examples here. This is pretty standard, right? Where you have enter email address straight away. This is the pre-screen that I was talking about, right? Here's another pre-screen that I was talking about. And then this is the mystery offer that I mentioned. We also have some others to claim your perks, let us know what kind of pizza maker you are, finding out more information, to claim your discount, tell us what your goal is, again, finding out more information about the customers, okay? So those are some examples of pop-ups. In terms of the behavior, we found that having a 15 to 30 second time delay works best. And what happens with this is you avoid the traffic that was just going to bounce anyway. And this if you have an email pop-up that shows up straight away, not only is it annoying, but your conversion data is likely going to be skewed because a lot of people are going to bounce right from the from the website when they visit. We've also tested percentage of scroll depth in the past, which can work really well. Exit intent pop-ups work best for desktop. With mobile, they're not really as accurate, right? So we tend to just focus on the time delay and a percentage of scroll depth. So where to build? The most seamless and cost-effective way, and what I'd recommend to you guys, is building inside your ESP. Klaviyo, you can design pretty good pop-ups within Klaviyo itself, right? You know, we offer this over external apps. External apps just tend to be an additional cost. We found that we can get pretty good conversion rates and designs just by using Klaviyo's built-in pop-up builder. In terms of performance, what you should be aiming for in your conversion rate of the pop-up will depend a lot on the offer itself. Other factors that influence conversion rate are the behavior and the format that you use. So some benchmarks to keep in mind. If you have no offer, you're probably looking at around 2.5% conversion rate on your pop-up. If you have a small offer, maybe like 10% off or lower, maybe you're looking at 3%, maybe 4%. You have a mid to high offer, 15 to 25%, you're looking at 5 to 7% conversion rate. And high offer, 30% plus, you're looking at 7 to 10% plus. Now, some brands that have low AOV, say like a $30 or $40 AOV, we have seen sometimes like a 15% conversion rate on the pop-up, right? So these are just benchmarks, by no means the be-all, end-all. Of course, you have to test and see yourself. It's just some guidance, okay? So that is it for the end-to-end email and SMS structure. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully the template linked below this video is going to help you guys as well. And yeah, if there is anything, any questions, just ask them below in the comments and I'll be sure to respond. So that is it for this video. I will see you in the next one.